I am very pleased to read for you a new episode from Maxwell Conroe's Harlequin Stories, entitled Father Demetrius. After hearing about the risk of divine interventions in his writing, Maxwell decided to seek the advice of Father Demetrius, a wise priest who was known to have a deep understanding of both the human and divine realms.
Dear Father Demetrius, I'm in a difficult situation. The goddesses Athena and Aphrodite are interested in my writing, and I don't know which side to choose. Moreover, Adeline is seeking redemption for the murders of her mother, Queen Clytemnestra, and father, King Agamemnon, but I don't know how to help her. Can you advise me on what to do?
My son, the divine realms are fickle, and their intentions are often hard to decipher. But one thing is certain: the human heart is the key to unlocking their secrets. You must follow your heart, and let it guide you towards the truth. As for Adeline, her redemption lies in her own ability to forgive and seek forgiveness. The cycle of violence must end, and she must be the one to break it.
But what about Athena and Aphrodite? How can I make a choice?
You must not choose sides, my son. The divine beings are not to be played with, for their powers are beyond mortal comprehension. Instead, you must use your writing as a means to keep a wise balance and preserve harmony in your storyline. Let the virtues of Athena and the passions of Aphrodite coexist, for they are both necessary for a thriving society. But be cautious, for their interests are not always aligned with those of the mortals.
Maxwell was struck with a sudden realization. If the murder of King Agamemnon was part of a divine plan, and Adeline was merely a pawn in that plan, would that mean all her actions were predetermined by the gods? That she never had a choice? Or, in another point of view, were the writers who wrote their storylines almost acting like deities when creating the story characters for their tragedies? The mind of Maxwell was getting very confused, and when he had explained his quandary to Father Demetrius, this is what the priest said.
Maxwell, the key question about the reality of our free will has preoccupied many philosophers and theologians for centuries. The concept of free will versus fate is a complex one, and even the most learned scholars disagree on its implications. But in my experience, what matters most, my son, is how we choose to respond to the events that befall us, whether they are of our own making or not.
Maxwell nodded thoughtfully, still lost in his own thoughts. I understand what you're saying, Father. But what about the divine power struggle between Athena and Aphrodite? What role does my writing play in all of this? Father Demetrius smiled.
Ah, my son, you have already played a significant role in this conflict, whether you realize it or not. Your writing has now firmly gripped the attention of these goddesses, and they will both seek to influence your work to further their own agendas. But the choice of who to align yourself with ultimately lies with you. Please remember, you are the creator, like all of us, of your own narrative.
Maxwell nodded again, feeling a sense of clarity washing over him. Thank you for your wise words, Father Demetrius. You've given me much to think about. I will take your words to heart and do my best to write a story that honors the complexities of human nature and the divine realm. As Maxwell left the temple grounds, the author's mind was filled with thoughts about the complex relationships between Athena, Aphrodite, Adeline, and Hecate. Yet, He felt a newfound sense of purpose. He knew that he could not stand idly by while Adeline's fate hung in the balance. He resolved to use his writing as a tool for the good causes. Effectively, that meant siding with Athena to promote the virtues of discipline and handicraft that Athena held so dear, while also finding a way to incorporate Aphrodite's message of love and passion in a way that would not undermine Adeline's interests.